Hey guys, today I want to talk to you a little bit about marine radios, and specifically handheld marine radios, VHF radios. I have an expert with me today, Jason Kennedy. Hey Jason.
Thanks for having me down, Dan.
Thanks Jason. I've known Jason for over 25 years, maybe 30 years, back when he worked at West Marine. The past 20 years, he's been with Standard Horizon. He's an expert on radios. And Jason, you know, I have your radios on my boat and the ones that are plugged in and stuff. But when we start talking about handhelds, I think you should have them for safety equipment, but there's more uses than that, right?
Of course there is. We definitely recommend getting a fixed mount radio for range. You get about 25 miles with its typical antenna. But a backup, a handheld. What happens if your main radio dies or you lose batteries on the boat?
Yeah.
So now you have a backup. But also you can take it when you're going ashore. You get in the tender and now you have communication back to the mothership or the main vessel.
Right.
I think it's a good way to go to have both a fixed mount and a handheld.
Yeah, you have to have a fixed mount. I wouldn't even imagine going to sea without it. And if you have a small boat, say 14-footer, 15-footer, and you're just cruising in the harbor or going in the breakwater, this is a nice solution.
Yeah, you can contact any vessel that's in the area within about 5 miles range, and also the Coast Guard.
Yeah, and then people don't think about the foggy conditions. If you're out there in a small boat and there's fog, you know, you probably shouldn't be out there if you don't have radar. But if you are stuck out there, you start getting into June, May, that fog can roll into you. Go out in the morning, looks nice, and that fog comes in really thick. You want to have a radio so if you hear a boat, you can call them on 16, communicate, find out where these guys are.
We hear calls all the time of people running out of fuel, maybe even the tender. They don't realize the range that they have, and they run out and they use their handheld to contact someone to tow them back in.
Right. Yeah, tow service is important to have too. And I guess a lot of people just take it for granted. U.S. Coast Guard, they do a great job, but they can only come get you if you call them.
Correct.
They're not psychic. So you have to let them know you're in help, and having a VHF, a portable radio, handheld, is a good way to have that for a backup. And like you said, I've been there many times where I've lost power. Well, I shouldn't say many times. I've been there a couple of times where I've lost power on my boat, and the only radio I had was a handheld. Now, when people go look for features for a handheld, what should they look for?
Well, I'd look for a couple features. I'd look for lithium-ion batteries. I think that's important now. Alkaline battery trays, so they can have that backup power with the disposable batteries.
So it's just like an empty casing?
It would be an empty casing for the disposable AAA or AA batteries.
Cool.
And I'll give you a backup. You can leave that in your survival bag or within your boat so that you have that backup power, auxiliary power.
Just in case you need it.
Correct. 12-volt chargers I think are good because not all vessels have 110-volt chargers.
Right.
So you look for a 12-volt charger, the lithium-ion battery, the alkaline battery tray I think is important. Also floating. Floating has become one of the most key features on a handheld today. And I would say almost all of Standard Horizon's handhelds float today.
Really?
Correct.
So if this radio hit the water, it's gonna float?
Well, that radio is unique because it has a water-activated strobe light. Even if that radio was turned off, the HX870 will self-power once it hits the water, water-activated strobe, and flash an SOS white, bright strobe light.
So it'll flash the light, but it won't send a signal out?
It won't send a signal out,
right?
But you can go get your radio and make that Mayday call.
Yeah, no, if I fall in the water or my boat goes down and this is blinking out there at night, I'm going to be swimming to it. You're going to see that. Well, that's pretty cool. Well, thanks for helping us out. It's nice to see you again, man.
You too. Good to see you.
Remember, if you're going to go get a radio, think about Standard Horizon. And if they want to get information, they can go to your website?
Yeah, www.standardhorizon.com, or just go see any of your local marine retailers. They're all stocking Standard.
Yeah, they do. Pretty good radio. And don't think about going out to sea without a handheld. I know you all think it's enough to have a fixed mount radio, but like Jason said, it's not enough. Have a handheld just in case everything goes wrong. You want to be able to get home. You know, we enjoy going to catch fish, and Jason loves to go fishing too, but the most important thing about every fishing trip is that you get back to the dock safely, and this will help you do it.
Correct.
All right, thanks, man.
Thank you again.
All right, for more information, you can follow me right here on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and I'll talk to you again real soon.